Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about a hot button issue when it comes to hypnosis. In the general public, hypnosis is very misunderstood due in part mostly to how it's used in movies. It's always used in media, like in Scooby-Doo, it was used like to mind control people, and almost always in film, it's used as a way to like trick someone or control someone. And that's just not the case. So that's what I'm talking about is, can you control someone and make them do something they don't want to do using hypnosis? Most recently, I was talking to a potential client who had a lot of fear around it, and he kept asking me very odd questions about, like, can you, like, do things to me? Can you make me turn into a serial killer with hypnosis? And he mentioned how he had seen the movie Get Out, and I hadn't seen the movie at that point in time, so I wasn't really sure what he was referring to or why he had so much trepidation. But since then, I've seen the movie, and I totally get it. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it, you know that hypnosis is used in the movie in a very dark way, and I just want to say, not possible. What they do in that movie and what they do in most movies is not possible. That's not how hypnosis works. You cannot make someone do what they don't want to do with hypnosis. Now, I know some of you are going to say, oh, but I've seen shows where they make people quack, or, I've seen this YouTube guy who does hypnosis and makes people think that he's giving them money for the diamonds he's buying, but he's really not handing them anything. And I'll address that at the end of this video. I'll address those things too. But I just want to tell you how hypnosis works so you can understand that it is not possible to make someone do something they don't want to do using hypnosis. So hypnosis works simply by entering someone into a trance state and doing what is essentially a led meditation, a visual journey. Sometimes someone will just use story in hypnosis to represent things to help someone on a positive journey and a positive change. Or other times they'll do direct suggestion, which is saying something like, instead of eating unhealthy, you only crave these healthy green vegetables. Something like that. Those are generally what is done in a hypnosis session, either direct suggestion or some sort of representative story, and sometimes a mix of both. So when you get into the trance state and you're being told these things, they go past your critical factor in your mind. So essentially, if you have built up in your mind these past ideas, you might logically know they're wrong, but when you have a bad day, all these past events from your childhood that tells you food will make you feel better, those things make you want to reach for a donut. No matter how much you know logically, that's not wrong, and that's not right, and it's good for you. All those events from your childhood make you reach for that donut. So when you're being hypnotized, it's going directly to your subconscious and putting in almost a shortcut through that wall, through that critical factor, that thing within your deep subconscious that says, I had such a bad day, I didn't get what I need to fill that void with a donut. It kind of breaks through that. Those memories are still there, but that attachment to that donut that tells you that will bring you happiness is broken. So that's what hypnosis does. That's kind of, in a nutshell, how hypnosis works. And if you sit through a hypnosis session or even listen to a hypnosis app, you're generally picking it for something you want to do. So, you want it for positivity, or you want to be a more positive, confident person. If the hypnotherapist is saying, you are going to be so confident, you know that you're beautiful, you know that you're a valid, wonderful person, in your mind, while you're in trance state, you're still present, you're still aware, you're still hearing everything that is said. It's not like in the movies where someone blacks out and then they wake up and they feel like they only remember segments, or they don't remember anything and then all of a sudden they're doing these things. That's not how it is. That's another misnomer. You are present. You're in kind of a relaxed, like dreamlike state, but your conscious and your subconscious are working together. So you're hearing what is said to you. So when someone says those things about your confidence and you being beautiful, valuable, handsome, intelligent, in your mind, you're hearing those and you're going, yes, yes, I love that. Tell me those things. I need to hear that. I learned that. I see that. Whereas if someone in the middle of the session were to say, and now you feel like you want to be a bank robber, you're going to rob this bank, you're going to bring me this money. Like, just as if you were having a conversation with someone and they said those things to you, you would be like, okay, no. It's the same with when you're in the session. Your conscious mind is still present. So if somebody said something to you that was against your person and against your goals and against anything you would want to do, you're going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And you would reject that notion, and you would most likely come up out of trance state. You would be unable to continue in the trance. So that is just how it works. You just can't be made to do something that you don't want to do, that you're not already inclined to do. And if you're going to someone who is a professional, who is there to help people, they're also going to be, they're going to have talked to you, they're going to know your goals, they're not going to do anything to harm you because they're there to help you. But even if they did want to harm you, which they don't, it would not work. So that's that. Everything you've seen in the movies, the Scooby-Doos, the Get Out, all those things are just used for heightened fiction. They're not based on the reality of hypnosis at all, because while hypnosis is not widely practiced yet and not widely understood, it's actually kind of boring. So they wouldn't put it into a movie or a show if they can't, amp it up and make it much more like exciting and, oh, you can actually control people. No, you can just control to the level of what the person wants to do. So I am changing things. If I'm working with a client, I am changing things in your subconscious, but all for the positive and all for your ultimate goal and what you wanted to do. And that's the only way it works, is if it aligns with those goals and your person. And in the beginning, I said I would address those things of, the show Hypnosis, where they make people do crazy things, and even the YouTube videos that you may have seen of hypnosis tricksters. As for the first, show Hypnosis, that's kind of a different beast. People do get put into trance if it is a very, very good hypnosis practitioner, but they're not doing something they don't want to do. Yes, maybe quacking like a duck is something ridiculous, and the normal person won't go walking down the street doing that, or running crazy around the stage does seem like maybe something they wouldn't normally do. But you have to think, who are the people who, when they go to a hypnosis show, raise their hands to go on stage? Is it the wallflower? Is it the shy person? No, it's the person who is super outgoing, the person who wants attention and is like, me, look at me. That's generally the person who goes up. Not that everybody is conceited who goes up, but the people who go up are generally very outgoing people, and they don't mind being the center of attention. So when they go up and they're told to do those things, they know that that's what they're getting, is the attention. So the quacking like the duck and all that stuff, while it may seem crazy, they went up there to kind of do something crazy and to get attention. So sometimes they're not being put under and they're just playing along, and sometimes if it's a really good hypno practitioner, then they are actually being put under, but the things they're being told still comply with their ultimate goal of getting that attention and having fun. So that's why they do it. It's not going against their goals, and it's not going against who they are as a person. So again, in that example, not making people do things they wouldn't want to do, not controlling them in that sense. And then lastly, for those, gosh, what do you call them when they're not a hypnotherapist? My mind is blanking. When those people who practice hypnosis in those YouTube videos where, I don't know if you've seen them, but there are videos out there of, there's this one very popular guy who goes into different stores, like jewelry stores and stuff, and does like this 2-second hypnosis trick, and then motions that he's handing them money for what he's buying, and there's nothing there. And then the person's like, oh yeah, okay, here's your thing, have a nice day. Is he actually hypnotizing them? I never ever say something's impossible, because I like to call myself a skeptical believer, but honestly, I don't believe those videos to, the most part. 99% bullcrap. Maybe 1% it's possible. That's how I feel. But I do think those videos are done for a purpose, and they're faked. And those are much more along the line of the common day street magician, people who are doing sleight of hand, and like the David Blaine sort of modern magic. The people who are doing those sorts of videos where they're like tricking the person and saying they're using hypnosis, they're actually relying much more on the modern kind of magician, sleight of hand, distraction, those sorts of things. And it's not actually just controlling this person's mind to where they're not seeing it. It's a very hyped up thing playing on modern magician practices. So there you have it. You cannot be controlled through hypnosis. You cannot be made to do something you wouldn't want to do. It's not a scary thing at all, I swear. It's can be new agey depending on who's doing it, and it does, align with some new agey things like entering trance and meditation and all that, but really it's a clinical practice, and it's actually one of the oldest forms of treatment for mental and health problems in the world, going back to the Egyptians and the Greeks, and even was used in World War I and the Civil War for doing amputations and keeping soldiers from pain before the widespread use of, sorry, my mind is blanking again because I have Lyme brain, but the medicine that puts you under. Before that was invented, they were actually using, in our military, in our country, hypnosis for those scientific purposes. It was used for a long time for childbirth, in a lot of ways that people have forgotten because modern science and modern medicine have replaced it in some ways. But point being that it's actually a very clinical practice, a very scientific practice, and it's not some like hocus pocus crazy thing like they show in the movies. And in the future, I'll be doing a video to actually go into the very long and good past of how hypnosis was used before it was kind of forgotten about in the mainstream. So thank you so much for listening. I hope I helped you get over some of your worries about hypnosis, or if you're one of those evil villains who thought he could use hypnosis to control people, I hope I assuaged you in that. And have a good day.